Well, we'll attempt to make the siyum to finish tonight, but maybe no.
Really, it's like a minute and a half. Was huge.
What?
Nothing.
Gershon, make sure you're completely muted the entire time.
No.
Go ahead, Gershon. Try me.
Who has the mute power?
I take that as a dare.
Aaron's the
Aaron has the mute power. Then we're finishing in time tonight.
Right. I was just about to say, I'll mute everybody. Tiago, you go for it. You can make Miriam at 9 o'clock.
That's it.
No, it's not. No, it's just the long dub. It's again a lot of gishmaka things in the stuff and some interesting things too. Okay, so we're 3 wide lines down. Mishachar Beis Hamikdash batal hashamir. Right. So once the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, so the shamir, which is the worm that they used to cut the stones with, was batal. So Tanavan shamir shabai bana shlomo Beis Hamikdash. The shamir is what Shlomo used to build the Beis Hamikdash. Shenamar. Evan Shlema Masa Nivna, right? For Gershon, it's Evan Shlema, they called it, right? You would think it's Evan Shlema, not Evan Shlema, it's Evan Shlema, which is the Litvish way or the Chabad way of saying Shlema, but right? Right, so it's a Evan Shlema Masa Nivna. So it was built with full stones. Hadvarim Kichsavan, and the words are the way they're written, meaning understand it the way it was written, which is it was complete stones, and they didn't cut down the stones. Dear Rabbi Yehuda, so normally the mizbeach was not supposed to have metal, right? And so here we're saying that even the stones, the walls of the Beis Hamikdash, none of it had metal. Can you say this? All these expensive stones, they were Magera is like a saw. They were fixed with a saw. So okay. So im kain ma loy nishma bebayis behiban that it wasn't heard in the bias when it was being built. What does that mean? So you see that there were no sounds of stone metal hitting stones, breaking up the stones. Yeah, what they did is they fixed the stones outside and they brought it inside. So Amar Rebbe, Niran de Rabbi Yehuda ba'avnei mikdash. Rabbi Yehuda seems to be right with the stones of the Beis Hamikdash. Rabbi Nechemia ba'avnei beisayim, and Rabbi Nechemia with the Shlomo's house. So meaning Rabbi Yehuda, there is a machlok. At the end of the day, it is a machlok whether they used only the shamir to make the stones of the Beis Hamikdash. Rabbi Nechemia holds that they did not use it, but Rebbe is saying that he goes with Rabbi Yehuda by the Beis Hamikdash, and for Shlomo's house, he held like Rabbi Nechemia that they used metal. Rabbi Nechemia shamir l'may also. So what exactly did they need the shamir for if they had stones? If they had metal? So the stones of the what do you call it? The ephod and the choshen, they didn't write. I mean, they put the names, right? We had this a while ago that they had the names of the shvatim. And we had this a while ago that they put the different names on what the order of the names was. But the names were of the shvatim were put on the choshen and the chesha, not the ephod and the choshen. But they didn't use it with ink. Mishum shenemar pituche chaysam. It was engraved like a chaysam, like a seal, like a ring that has a seal. And you're not allowed to cut them with metal. You're not allowed to cut the stones with metal. Mishum shenemar pimilu asam. They have to be full, right? What they did is they put some ink on it. And then they would show the shamir from the outside, meaning they would put this worm on it, and it sort of broke by themselves. Like a fig in the summer, when it dries out, it splits, but nothing's missing. Meaning you see that a fig splits, or you split a challah, right? There's nothing missing from the challah, right? But it's split. So the same thing here. So sometimes you have a bika, that a valley, that the ground cracks during the rainy season, and it's not missing anything at all. Right? Okay, so therefore that's what they use the shamir for. The shamir was sort of pushed in the writing. Right? Fine. So Tana Rabbanan. Shamir.
Pushed in the what? What did you say?
It's like pushed in the ksav into the stone without making it missing anything. Because it had to be b'meluah sam. Right? Fine. So Tana Rabbanan. Shamir ze briyasi kisa'ira. When it's created, it's like a barley. And it was around since Sheshes Mebereshis. And nothing hard can stand in front of it. And obviously nothing soft. Okay, so then
what's the finish that it was from Sheshes Mebereshis? Everything was from Sheshes Mebereshis. What do you think? A new Bria came into the world otherwise? What's the Havamina?
It's created Bein HaShmachos.
Well, Banish Moshe was not 6 days. The Sheshes Mebereshis.
Yeah, but I don't know. Well, could it be that it developed later? I don't know.
You mean like maybe it evolved?
Maybe it evolved. Yeah. I don't know.
The monkeys, they evolved into schmarzes. Okay, I got it. I get it. Now I understand.
Yeah. Right. So, yeah. Okay. I hear what you're saying. I don't know. What, David? What did you say? Is he on?
I'm here.
What did you say? Was it about Bein HaShmashos?
It was created at Bein HaShmashos. It was several things. The Mishnah in Pirkei Avos says that the Shamir was one of several things created on the first Shabbat, Erev Shabbat, Bein HaShmashos. For the significance of that, look in Psachim.
Well,
see, Yaakov, okay. I think the donkey was also the peh of the donkey was also created then. There's a certain like L'mayla Minateva creatures or things that were created at that time.
Bein HaShmashos, right?
Right. It was something that was chutz midarech hateva. That's why they were created then.
I hear. So the shaila is why the Gemara doesn't say that, or obviously that's what the Gemara is referencing.
That's the aside. It wasn't something that was for specific to Kufa, and it was only created in that time slot. I hear.
Okay, very good. So now the Gemara asks, but remember, Shamras, how do you protect yourself from this thing? But remember, Shamras, right? It's almost like out of the movies, this thing's growing and crawling. Nobody could stop it. Like from a horror movie, right? So how would you ever be able to keep this thing from destroying everything? Right? So the way you do it is you wrap it up with wool, and be'itni shal aver malaya subi sa'iron, and you put it in a tube that holds, or what do you call it? Aver is lead, right? And you fill it up with barley, right? But barley, ground up barley. So I'm a Rabbi Ami. So that's okay. So that's how you protect it. How that works, I don't know. I'm a Rabbi Mikdash Rishon Batla Shira. Shira Pirando Suchas Levana. When the Beis Mikdash was destroyed, the first Beis Mikdash, there was no more this type of silk, and there was no more white glass. Yeah, so these were chashuva things, and I guess they didn't. They lost the chachma to create these things, I guess, or to harvest them. Tanina mihachi mishachar Mikdash Rishon. Batla Shira Panda is Chuchis Levana, the Rechev Barzel. And Rechev Barzel is, what do you call it? Chariots of metal. V'yesh Aimrim, Af Yayin Koresh, Habam Mishanir. I don't know what this is. This is Yayin Koresh, like jelly. Wine that's jelly that came from Shanir, Hadayim Kigule Dvela, and it's similar to like a cake of Dvela. Right? So, yeah. So I don't know exactly what that is, but all that stopped after Bayis Rishon, which is why we don't know what that is. Okay, Neufes Tzufim. My Neufes Tzufim. Parrots, whenever you listen to this, the song of the Daf, or at least a form of the song of the Daf. All right? So what is Neufes Tzufim? So Amarav Soilas Shetzaf Al Gabi Nafa. That's the flour, or the fine flour that floats on top of the sifter. The daimile isa shenilosha b'dvash v'shemen. It looks like dough that gets kneaded with honey and oil. So that's the first sheet. It's 2 kikros that are stuck in a tanner. And they blow up until they reach each other. Meaning, when you put, I think this way it is, when you take pitas and they cook it on the walls of the oven, so that's so fat, and it just keeps growing, or ishtanur, whatever it is, it keeps growing and then it hits each other. That is honey that comes from Tzipia, from these from the mountains, high mountains. My mashma, time of Sheshes, kima de natsan de bar yasa, like how do you call it? Bees go up, shayatan barume alma, and they fly around all over in the high places in the world. Masin duvshami isvetura, and they bring honey from the mountains, from the grass that grows on the mountains. Anything that's poured from a tahar into a tameh. So basically, this is a big yesod. This actually is a big yesod in for Yayin Nesach. This comes up in kashrus. Right? When does the top utensil, when it's being poured into the bottom utensil, does it make a connection?
There's a word for it.
Right? So nitzuk. Right? So nitzuk. If the nitzuk chibur, exactly. That's what we're talking about here, right? So nitzuk tahar, meaning if you have the bottom of you're taking something that's tahar, you're pouring it into a kli that's tameh. So now the stuff that obviously touches the kli is tameh. But then when you don't pour everything out from the top cup and you pull it back, is the stuff that's in the top cup tameh now? Because it was all connected. So we're saying here that kol nitzuk is tahar, chutz midvash zifim v'atzpichim, except for the honey that comes from zifim and tzapichim, because it's very, very thick, right? And they mix it in with wax. So memela, that will be tameh. Why? Because you see this with honey too. Because basically when you pour honey, normally when you pour liquid, again, I'm no scientist, so forgive me if you pour liquid from one cup into another cup, once that liquid leaves the top cup, it's going down. Gravity is pulling it down. Right? Honey or something thick, when you pour it, right? Some of the honey, even though it's already out from the top cup, when you pull the cup back up, that some of that honey will kick back into the cup.
So that makes it
so that yes, because it was already out. And
but it wasn't in. It wasn't in the tummy thing yet.
But it was connected. I mean, the stuff that's in the cup is considered not connected. The stuff that goes out of the cup is considered connected. Okay, I hope that
we had a concept like this, no? And I want to say Nazir.
Was it Nazir? I want to hope that you're wrong because then I
back, really but it's Mechober.
We had the Nitzuk Chibur somewhere. I would what was it? I mean, okay, for us it's Nageya when you pour wine, when a not from person pours wine. Right? So the question is what's left in the bottle. See, when a guy pours wine, right, that's exactly this case. So the stuff that's in the cup is Avada Yasser, it's Yayin Nesek. Right? But what's with the stuff left in the bottle? So we say it's Nitzuk Chibur, and the whole thing is no good. When we said that a not from person does it, we say not. We don't say Nitzuk Chibur.
How could Nitzuk be Chibur on one person? Nitzuk not be Chibur?
No, the question is we're being mach. It's yeah. So my zifim, fine. So
I think the way you said it last time was we say Nitzuk Chibur up until the lip of the cup. So everything up until the lip we say.
Yeah, well, that's what you have to say.
That's all tummy. Yeah. Past the lip is not.
It's a separate entity. Yeah, very good. Okay, so my zifim, Amar Rabbi Yochanan Dvashim Mezayifin boy. It's honey that you do that you can mezayif, you can forge it. You can forge it, right? Because what you can do that since it's so thick, you could actually put some liquid in it, and that will save you some money, right? And but it'll still look the same thick. Right? It's called Zim because that's the place. Because it's Zif, the Telem, and Baalas. When the Zifim came and said to Shaul, it's not David. Meaning when he was that was when David was running away from Shaul. Right? So they went and they ratted him out. Right? Fine. My zifim. So what is zifim? There are people that are liars. Fine. Okay, so same achlokes. Fine. Upasku. Now, what exactly was Neifes Tzufim? That was Stama food? Was that something in the Beis HaMikdash? Neifes Tzufim? Or was Stama food that they had back then? Is this an Amaratzistic question?
Either it was the bracha that happened to the bread that everyone baked, or it was this honey.
No, I understand, but was it had nothing to do with the Beis HaMikdash.
Well, because of the first pshat is more to do with the Beis HaMikdash.
Well,
because of the Beis HaMikdash, there was bracha given to baking.
Right. Okay, I don't know. Okay, I wasn't sure if there was something that was missing to understand that it was from the Beis HaMikdash. Okay, Upasko Anshe Amona. This next Gemara answered a question for me that always bothered me all the years. I don't know, maybe not all the years, but it bothered me. Right? So it says that people of Emunah, they stopped having Emunah after the Churban. So Amar Rabbi Yitzchak, Elu b'nei Adam, Shem Amina b'Kadosh Baruch Hu, people that believed in Hashem, no more. They stopped. Now, Givaldig Rashi here, Shem Amina b'Kadosh Baruch Hu, 6 lines up from the bottom of the Rashi is on the left. He says, Levater Mamainam. What is so who's a mamin in HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Somebody who's mevater his money, he gives up his money, lenoi hider mitzvah. As a noi for hider mitzvah, uletzedaka, uletzah, shabbosis b'yamim toivim. If you do that, right? If you do that, and you spend your extra money on these mitzvahs, then you're called a maimin in the Rebbeinu Shalom, right? We always say this, that because you get all that money back. We try convincing people of this. Try convincing ourselves of this. You get all your money back for Shabbos, Yom Tiv, and it sounds like you could be for mitzvahs here too, right? So, but that's what a maimin spends extra money on all these things. That's it. You show your maimin. It's an easy way to show a movement.
Mashiach, before my daughter called me, a 7-year-old asked her. She says, "Did she learn this song to Torah's Picha Me Alpha Zava Kesef?" Torah, right? So she said, I don't understand. If you keep the gold and the silver, you can buy a lot of Sefer Torahs and learn Torah all the time. Why get the gold and silver, buy a lot of Sefer Torahs and learn all the time?
I hear. That's a smart one. Yeah. Okay. So, but it's interesting here. It doesn't say anything about learning. Spend money on learning. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say money on svarim. It says mitzvahs, right? So, okay. So, but that's what
it's on the ones that are hiddur mitzvahs. No,
he's saying even hiddur mitzvahs. Yeah.
He's saying beyond hiddur mitzvah. What's a noi hiddur mitzvah?
Yeah.
It's not just a hiddur mitzvah.
Yeah. It's a $2,000 esrei, gosh, not $1,000.
I don't know.
Noi hiddur mitzvah. I hate to say it. Maybe the esrei box.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, yeah.
Right. That could be the esrei box. I'm not sure that gartel or whatever the thing on the talis. Yeah.
So do like my cousin Judowitz. Sell the bottles too, Gershon, Erev Shabbos stuff.
The what?
But from your schayra, he sells it in reusable bottles, not plastic containers.
Oh, you mean don't
so
sell it in bottles? Not
it's my Mishnah Gemara.
I hear. Very good. So, anyways, bottom line is if you spend, it's a week before Yom Tov, Rabbi said, right? It's a week before Yom Tov. Now's the time to spend. And right here, spend on the Shabbos and Yom Tov, and you show you're a maimin. You show you're a maimin in Hashem.
Why is it daf? Why should you go on the thing? And should you buy all from Batya's Kitchen and from Lilac and Cheese, whatever it's called in Lakewood, those cheesecakes?
It may be if you, maybe. Or you could just, if you don't want to spend, you go to my brother Shalom's door and just steal them from the ones that get dropped off from one after the other. Okay,
Is this why I got the invitation to the Shor Yashuv dinner just today?
Okay, what are you saying? The tzedakah?
Yeah, but I guess it's a tzedakah.
Maybe.
Shor Yashuv feast. Yeah.
There you go. Anyways, okay.
Where does Levu Alai fit into this Amunah?
What is who?
Levu Alai.
Levu Alai Vani Pareya? What's the problem? Why does that not fit in?
Is that the same thing? Is that part of the same cheshbon?
I think
well, it's not spending. This is spending. Someone who doesn't have what to spend. Levu Alai is the same.
Levu Alai means you have the money, you just don't have it now, or you whatever. It's not accessible, or you have a way to get it.
Right.
Yeah. But you have it, so you do spend. Yeah. The Tanya of Elazar Gadolai Makomi Sheyesh Le Pas Besalei. Oh, so this is the one that that was the first thing that was mechazik me, and then Komi Sheyesh Le Pas Besalei. Anybody who has bread in his basket. What am I eating tomorrow? He is a Mekatne Amana. Right? V'hainu Domer Rebbe Elazar Ma'idich said Kimi Baz Liyom Katanas. Who is the one that's going to be a bezayin on the day of when things are small? It's a little scary. Who's going to cause that the table of the Talmidei Chachamim, not Talmidei Chachamim, Tzadikim, in the next world is going to be a little messed up? It was the smallness, right? Like Reb Shlomo used to say, right? What was his lashon? He used to say, "Be big," right? Want to be big. Don't be small, right? They didn't believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So since they didn't believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right? Then Mamela, they lose out their schar in the next world, right? Rashi says, "She'em mekabel schar shalom."
Right? So Yaakov, isn't that the story of Chanina ben Daisa and he was given a leg from a miraculous with a gold leg?
Right, with the leg of the chair.
Right.
I don't remember who it was. Yeah, I don't remember who it was.
And he miraculously able to give it back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Yeah, right. Nice.
I'm saying over there, like you see that the amun over there was the fact that he continued to live poorly. Meaning, lav davka means that you have to spend money. Sometimes it just means you have to accept your lot in life.
I hear.
Because over there it was going to be Gairea from his schar no mamba. That's what he saw in a dream. No.
Correct. Yeah. So, but I guess he had major amuna. No.
No. Well, his amuna. But my point is that his amuna was that okay, I'll live the way I'm living. Not that he would have been able to live a normal lifestyle. He was very poor.
Right. It's true. True. So that, yeah. But here's the thing when I was thinking that this is what gave me chizik. It's mashma that only if you have pasta salad and you're worried about it. Right? Two daf ago or one daf ago, it said also that they were Mekatnei Amana, the people that fought with Elisha, the kids that screamed at Elisha because they were losing out their parnasa. Right? So they were, is the noise too much? No? Okay. So they were Mekatnei Amana because what? They thought they lost their business. Right? So Lachara there they were right. They might have lost their business. So they still call them Mekatnei Amana. Here it sounds like you're only considered not having Emunah if you have pas b'sala. Right? Meaning if you have bread today to eat and you're worried about what's going to be tomorrow, that's not Emunah. But if you don't have bread today, then L'chayra you're not considered a lack of Emunah.
This
that's
level is without taking it out against anyone else. They took it out against Elisha.
Good,
that was
good.
The problem.
That's fine, but I'm just saying the concept of, it always bothered me. What are you davening for Parnasa Taiva? I mean, where's your Amunah? I mean, it's not such a kasha because you're supposed to daven anyways. Right? But you're constantly davening for Parnasa Taiva, this and Parnasa Taiva. Well, if you have it, don't daven for it. You know what I mean?
You want to figure it out?
Let's say you have the money already. You have money in your
davening.
bank.
No, but davening means that you're mamin, that it comes from Hashem. You're not worried that it comes from you.
I understand. That's the way to explain it. But in the surface, it's like, yeah, you got to daven parnas, you got to daven it. What do you mean? It's only for if you don't have it. If you have it, don't. I don't know. Whatever. Here, so it makes sense. If you don't have the parnasa, so then you daven. Then you're supposed to daven. That's not considered lack of emunah. It's only lack of emunah if it seems like if you're worried about losing it. Okay. Fine. Rav Amar Elu Katne B'nei Rishei Yisrael. These are the Katanim of the Rishayim of Yisrael. Now we start today's daf. Yeah. Peretz texted me today when he was listening to the daf. He said took 25 minutes to start yesterday's daf. Well, I think today it took longer. Yeah. So Shemivaz was in. Yeah. The Shemivaz is in Din Avim Lasid. What they do is they lower the din of their fathers Lasid. I'm in the fun of Rebbeinu Shalom. Meaning these kids were killed as a punishment for their parents. So when these kids get up to Shemayim, this is what they say to Hashem. Right? You're gonna in the future you're going to take payment from them. Lama hakisa shneim bum. Why did you knock out their teeth now? Right? Meaning why are you causing them double punishment? Meaning since the kids already died, so then you shouldn't have any more punishment. They shouldn't have any more punishment in the next world. So that's what it's referring to. Makat neyamona, that the ketanim try and help out their fathers. So here you see hakisa shineim l'chayra. That's where you're getting. It's going to be. We have it one more time on this stuff. L'chayra. That's where it comes from. That you knock out the Rosh's teeth in the Haggadah, right? L'chayra. That's what I think.
Well, it means kill their kids.
No, Hikisa Shineim bum is a phrase.
Yeah, but here it means that you took us. These are the Ketanim saying you blunted their teeth by killing us.
Yes, and they didn't take the Ketanim's teeth.
No, you took their father's teeth by killing them.
Correct.
So when it says in Haggadah, you should blunt their teeth.
No, it doesn't mean no. What I'm saying, right. Keep the Shinem means some form of payment from him. You take some sort of that's getting, I don't know, punishment, whatever, however you want to say it. That's what it is. It's a phrase used for that. We'll see in the bottom of the Amr it's used again. Fine. Amr Rabbi Loi by Yiverchi. And the Gemara says a bunch of things now in the name of this Tana, right? If not for David's tefillah, Klal Yisrael would be selling revev is like junk, disgusting things. Shenemar shisa Hashem mayra lehem. Give them mayra lehem. Give them good things. So David HaMelech davened for that. So therefore, the Yidden they're always busy with nursing homes, jewelry, real estate.
David saying this, we would
asking Hashem for this. Yeah,
we would be
selling. I don't know, junk. Yeah, I don't know tchotchkes. It means like. Food, like dirty food and stuff, used food, right? Stuff like that.
Weren't we?
I don't know. You have a appeal. Malik tefillah Chabakuk. Not for the tefillah of Chabakuk, how you based on the Chum Miskasim Betalis Achas Va'iskim B'Torah. The Tamid Chum would be so poor they would have to use one blanket and learn Torah. Shenemar Hashem Shemati Shemacha Yerasi Hashem Palecha B'Kerev Shanim Chayeyu. Right. So it says, Hashem, I heard of your strength. And I'm in fear of it, and your works b'kerev shonim yechayehu. When these years you could be lived. Al tikri b'kerev shonim el b'kerev shnayim. Right, when two people, right. So that's a whole diktuk thing, but whatever it is, it's not Chabakuk davening that the tzaddikim or the Talmidei Chachamim should not have to be in the same under the same blanket when they learn. Or even when they're not learning. I wasn't sure if it's B'shas they're learning or Stam, that they should have to share a blanket. Fine. That are traveling and they don't have divrei Torah between them, they should really be burnt up by fire. Right? This is when Elio and Elisha were walking, and they were walking, there was like fire. Yeah. So that's Avi. That's where they get it from over there. But
how does the pasuk tie to two Talmidei Chacham?
Well, Elisha and Elio.
Divrei Torah.
The Divrei Torah. They were talking in Divrei Torah. How do we know it's Divrei Torah? I don't know. I don't know, but I guess the assumption is that they were talking divrei Torah, right? Yeah. Fine. So time dibur, halakha dibur, ruyan lisara. The reason why that fire didn't burn them is because they were talking and learning. If they didn't talk and learning, then they should have been learning. You have two Talmidei living in one city, and they don't come to some sort of hanacha in halacha, right? Which I don't know what that means. It means they have to agree, or they just have to talk and learn it. I don't know. So echad meis ve'echad goyla. Then one's going to die, one's going to go to gola shenemer lanus shamer ritzech asher yitzach esreeu b'vli das. That the ritzech is going to have to run there if somebody kills, right, by mistake. So he's going to.
They can't
run.
Isn't it?
One's going to have to die.
Isn't it? They can't ignore each other. They have to talk, even if they don't agree.
I don't know. So what is noichen? What is noichen means to rest?
It means they have to sit together.
Yeah, okay.
They have to come to an agreement to what the psak for the town is. It used to be there was one rav for the town. So you can't have a town split in two. That's problematic. So they have to come to an agreement. Either both Tanoim or they're both Amirai. And one doesn't hold like the other. Somehow they have to agree on some way to pass.
So one second. So Rashi in Shabbos, we had this Gemara in Shabbos. Right? So it says, Noisin v'noisin ba b'nachas ruach. They have to have normal dialogue.
Discussions.
They have to have a pleasant dialogue so that each one could gain from the other. That's what it means. Right? They can't just be screaming and yelling at each other. Right?
No, they can't. They can't say a psak and totally ignore and don't. They can't say a psak because then the people in the town are not gonna go. They'll do one or the other. You understand?
Fair enough. Yeah. So b'vli das, ve'im das el Torah shenemar nidmu ami b'vli das. My people are quiet without any das. Right? Meaning that's why they're quiet, because they're not having any Torah between them. Okay. Yeah.
They say the Briskerov and the Chazonish met one time. They sat by the table, they looked at each other for 10 minutes, and they didn't say one word, and then the other one left, and one got up and left. That was the whole meeting. So
okay, yeah. So what is that? Is that a proof to this, or
I don't know. I don't know
maybe that's how they were.
They should have spoke on disarmament. They should have spoke about disarmament.
Yeah,
the common ground. I guess the staring contest was enough.
I don't know. Didn't they say something about Rabbi Yasha when he met the Chazon Ish also? They brought Rabbi Yasha to the Chazon Ish to see if it's not Rabbi Yasha. How did it go? Rabbi Chaim? Rabbi Yasha? I don't know. If it's a story like that. Rabbi Yasha to the Chazon Ish? No. I don't know. Okay.
What happened?
I don't remember. I just don't remember. Okay. So I'm review the brother of here. Now, does this mean that if somebody is not a Talmud Chacham and is Eis B'Torah B'Teichas Chak, he doesn't get this? Or is it just the assumption as Talmud Chacham because those are the guys that are learning? I'm saying, let's say a guy also Chak normally means Chak, you like financially, but I don't know if that's the way you teach it. Chak means he has a hard, meaning the guy had a hard day at work, right? And you go and you sit down and do the daf anyways. Does this apply to you, or does it not?
It's a famous story with the Tzais and the Tzivus that when they met, and the Tzivus wanted to know why the Tzais was more niskabel than the Tzivus saw him. And he said, because I did it mitaychat chak.
Did he say that, Taka?
That's what the story goes, is that the Tzais was more niskabel because of that.
Well, in that, but the Nesivas has some major svarim like Chavas Das and Yeridea.
I don't know, but in the belt, I guess at that time it was more niskabel. I don't know.
Interesting. Okay, so
maybe if you're Isaac B'Torah,
welcome back. Yeah.
Maybe if you're Isaac B'Torah B'Toichat Chak, that makes you itself makes you into a Talmud Chacham. It don't mean how many black you know or anything, but if you're Isaac, that in itself gives you're a Talmud Chacham. You're learning.
Oh, I hear. Very good. Yeah. Oh, that's good. I like that shot. You're at least a Talmud of a Chacham. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, but either way, tefillah nishmas, your tefillah gets heard. Shenemar ki am betzion yeshiv Yerushalayim bocha lesimcha chanan yachnecha lekol zakecha kishamasay ano. Right, saying when you live in Yerushalayim, you don't have to cry. He's going to give you what you want when you yell out. And then it says afterwards, Hashem is going to give you very little bread and very little water. So you see that when you have, so this pasuk is mashal taka that it has to do with finances, right? But okay, fine. If somebody learns mitzvah chak, then they can not mashbiyan, masbiyan. They make him satisfied from he'll get from directly from the ziv of the shechina. Shenema vayonecha royos es meirecha. I am not sure I get the connection between this pasuk and the ziv of shechina. I mean, so because your eyes should see the rebbeim, right, teachers. So memela what? So that's called being nana from the ziv shechina. Okay, fine. Ravacha bar Chanina amar af in a pargud nina b'fanav. Even the pargud, which is the mechitza, Rashi says, there's no mechitza between him and the shechina. Shenemar v'yikonef oid meirecha, and your teacher is not going to be hidden anymore, right? Fine. Fine. Okay. Guys, can you shut the door, please? Sorry. Yeah, please. Yeah. Once the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, so there was no days that there wasn't cursed. Right? So every day the klala was even more than its friend. Remember, but biker timer yitin erev timer yitin biker. Right? This is in the teichacha. In the morning you're going to say, "Oh, I wish it was night," and in the night you can say, "Oh, I wish it was morning." Meaning the suffering is going to be so bad that you have to change it up. So hey biker, what does it mean? Which biker we're talking about? Elim biker to lamachar. If we say it's the morning the next day, mi yada my havi. Who knows what's going to be in the morning? Meaning, if you're going through suffering, you say, "Oh, I can't wait till the morning." How do you know the morning's going to be anything better? Ella dechalef, right? It's the opposite. It's switch it. Meaning, in the morning, the suffering's going to be so bad. You can say, "Oh, I wish I had yesterday," right? And yesterday you were saying, "Oh, I got to get out of it," right? Meaning, the suffering is going to gather steam, I guess. So then, okay, if every day the curses get worse since the Churban, so then how is the world still standing? So here we have a major line, Kedusha de Sidra, Vaheshme Rabada Gadata. On the Kedusha de Sidra, which is the Kaddish of Uvalatzion, and Yeheshme Rabba that's said after they've given a Gadata shir, right? That's why when the shuls, whenever the rabbi gives a speech, then they say, and that's an Agadata, and then they say the Kaddish. They say the Kaddish. What do you call it? The what? The Kaddish Rabbanan. Yeah. So, but the Kedusha Sidra is Uvalatzion. Apshan Uvalatzion is that there's a psukim of learning, and then we say Kaddish Baruch Kvod Hashem Baruch. How do you say? Baruch Hashem. No, not Baruch Hashem. Kaddish, and then. Good. It's good. I forget the davening too, right? So whatever. That's kedusha's the shiddur, which unfortunately many people are not aware how choshev it is. The tefillin should not come off until you finished with at least the kedusha the siddur, and then the Mishnah Berurah brings it shouldn't come off even till the kaddish afterwards, right? Because that kedusha the siddur is the equivalent of Klal Yisrael learning together and then saying kedusha afterwards, right? So that's what keeps the world standing. Shenemar eretz afasa k'may eifel tamavis v'loy sedarim, right? For the world is dark, right? And it's like the tamavis is like the death is on them v'loy sedarim. because there's no Siddharim of the Parshias. The Rashi has said the Siddur Parshias the Torah. Yesh Siddharim, but if there would be some sort of Seder of the Parshias, like they would learn, the Torah would be learned every day, Taifiyah Ma'ufel, then that will knock out the darkness. Right? So that's why Rashi says what they did is on Shabbos, they had a shir. They had a shir in Agadata, which I guess, that's easy learning, Agadata, and then they would say a Kaddish afterwards. So that together with the Volotzion, is what keeps the world going, which is why we make sure that we have a Volotzion said every single day. Right? Shabbos it's said by Mincha, and Yom Kippur it's said by Nila, but we have to make sure that we say Volotzion every day. Fine. The bracha v'nitel tam peres. So once the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, so there was no the tal, the dew didn't come down as a bracha, right? It's saying tal umata levracha, right? V'nitel tam peres, and the fruit, the tam of peres was taken. Tani Rav Shimon Elazar Omer, Taira batel tam v'reach v'reach, the tahira purity, when Klal Yisrael was pure, so then they were able to have tam and reach. But once they lost their tara, so then they lost the tam and the reach of the fruit. Meiser, and the list that we didn't give Meiser, like we learned 2 days ago, bittul shuman dagon. It took away the fats from the grains. Fine. That seems to just be a repeat of the Mishnah. Rav Huna, ashkach tumrasa dechinenuse. Rav Huna found a date that was very fatty date. Shakla karcha besudre. So he took it and he wrapped it up in a sudar, like in a handkerchief, and then and I guess he was going to eat it later, or I don't know what he was going to do with it, but he hid it. Also, Rabba Bray, his son Rabba came and said, Amar lei, marchina reicha dechinunisa. I smell this fatty date. Amar lei b'ni tahara yesh b'cha. If you're smelling this, it must be you're pure. So Yavin Aheli, so he gave it to him. He was so proud that his son had the tahara in him, so he gave him this fatty date. Adahachi also Abba B'rei. And in the meantime, right, his son came, meaning the grandson of Rav Huna, Shakla Yavin Aheli. So Rabba took it and gave it to his son. Amrlei B'ni. So Rav Huna said to him, B'ni, Samachta es libi v'kesa es shinai. Here again. You made my heart very happy that you were able to smell this, which means you were tahar, and now you knocked out my teeth by giving it to your kid, right? So again, you see a connection between knocking out teeth and kids. So I'm not sure how that fits into Russia in the Seder, but there must be a connection somehow. Whatever it is, he was disappointed. So I
would think that somebody would be happy if their child or grandchild is greater than that.
So that's right. So he didn't say that they're greater than them.
He said, you knocked me out.
It's the opposite. The grandson couldn't smell it. If the grandson could smell it, he would be ecstatic. The grandson couldn't smell it, and he gave it to the one who could smell it, gave it to the one who couldn't.
How do you know the grandson couldn't? How do you know the grandson couldn't?
From the reaction of Rav Huna. What's Vekesa Shinai? You're good. That's why you made me proud. But you gave it to your son who can't.
Rashi doesn't say it that way. That's not the way Rashi says it.
What?
Rashi is saying that the ahava is more. No. The ahava for your son is more than your Abba for me.
Right.
Because you took the date from me and gave it to him. So I don't know. I don't know if I wouldn't be broigus if you gave it to my kid or my grandchildren.
Yeah, so clearly, yeah. So well, if you look at the next line in the Gemara, so then maybe it makes sense. It's a two-way street. Right? It says like this: Amrle b'ni samata liba kisa shem. B'hainu damri and she rachmei da abba abnei rachmei da bnei abnei da havale. The rachamim of a son, you made it into tonight's daf rachamim. Right? The rachamim of a father to a son is for the son. Rachmei da bnei abnei da havale. But the son's Rahmanis is for his son. Meaning, a son is going to have more Ava for his son than his father.
More allegiance to his own son than to his father.
Well, here's the thing. Rachami means, like Rashi says, Ahava. Right?
So Ava, what does that mean? More allegiance.
So Stamazai, I tell this to Chassanim sometimes. I say, what does it mean to have love? Love means Rahmanis. Just have Rahmanis. Right? That's what you want to love somebody, you have to have Rahmanis. Everybody ultimately is a Rahmanis. That's the bottom. Each and every one of us, we have our insecurities, we have our this, we have our that. We're all Rahmanis cases in some way, shape, or form. Love each Jew, have Rahmanis. That's right. Okay, Stam, that's my little corner thing. But that's what it says. There's more love for a kid than there is for a parent. Even though you think there should be a karas hatoiv to the parent a lot more than for a kid.
To the point where it's saying
one of the Gedolim said that. I can't remember who it was. One of the really big Achronim said that. He says because Adam Arishan did not come from a father, so he doesn't know how to be a son. He knew how to be a father, but he doesn't know how to be a son. That's why a father could take care of 10 kids, but 10 kids can't take care of the father when he gets old because they don't. That's in the Teva. That's how everybody made the world. Adam started without a father.
That's a true story. I can attest.
Yaakov, to the point where he's saying,
at this rate, we're going to finish Sotah the next cycle of Daf Yomi.
Oh, behave.
I'm just saying.
Don't worry. Tomorrow's Daf is tiny.
Don't make speech cut us off. No.
Don't worry, we'll finish getting on time.
Don't
worry, we'll finish getting on
clock. Then don't hold the clock if you don't know how to handle it.
Oh, you ready?
You took the clock. You told Peretz to relax on his vacation. So do it. Cut us off. No.
I'm a Rachmanis here. Jacob just said that.
You're okay. You're a Yid, Aaron. You're a Yid. What are you saying, Zev? What's?
No, I'm saying to the point where he's calling Hakas Shinyai.
Yes, it's because he had pain from it. He was not happy.
He was not happy that his grandson was more pure than he was. Or that
why are you reading it like that? I don't know where you're getting that shot. He just wanted.
He wasn't happy that his son loved his grandson more than he loved him.
Correct. He wanted to be Mahana his son with a date, and his son went and took it. Imagine, Zev, you buy your son a present, and then the next day he goes and takes it and gives it to his son. That means he was not machshav that present in any way, shape, or form. The chayra. I think that Dr. Corman, that's what he's saying. That's right? I don't think it means because he was not happy that the grandson was tar. I think I just like you took a present I gave you. Present meant a lot to me, and then you just passed it right on. I think. Okay, whatever. The next Gemara is even wilder. Rav Acha bar Yaakov itful bei Rav Yaakov bar Barte. So Rav Acha bar Yaakov was busy with Rav Yaakov, his grandson. Doesn't say why, but he brought him up. Ki gadol, when he grew up. Right, when Rabbi Yaakov grew up, Amar le Ashken Maya. So his grandfather said, "Can you bring me water to drink?" Amar lo, la brichana. I'm not your son. Right? I mean, this is a story for. Can you explain? Can you explain it to me? So I don't know. That's what people say. Reve bar baratachana. Bring me up. But I'm going to tell you that I'm only your grandson. Meaning. Like Rashi says, you bring me up, but I'm going to stiff you later. That's the phrase. Okay, so now we do paskin like that.
Maybe there's no mitzvah of kibbut av.
Oh, exactly. So that's we paskin that minat Torah. I think it's minat Torah. I meant to look it up today and I forgot. It's in Hilchos kibbut avim, Reish Mem Beis and Yoredei. That a grandparent. If you have, the truth is, it happens I live next door to my mother, 2 houses down. It comes up with my kids all the time. I'll ask my kids for a favor, and then they say, well, Bubby asked me this. Who do they listen to?
Well, until you learn how to make potato cookie, they're listening to Bubby.
What do you
That's
mean?
the bribery. That's the bribery part.
We have a cloud. We have a cloud. Dibri Rav, Dibri Talmud, Dibri Mishoimim. Obviously, you listen to the older one.
Or Tzviakov, wouldn't if they told you that, wouldn't your chiv be that
so that's my question.
Your chiv would be that they would have to listen to your mother.
That's what I'm not sure. No, my chiv is to tell them to listen.
Go to your mother. Right.
Correct.
Right.
But it doesn't. I'm saying, so what was the scenario here? A kid wasn't around, I guess. Meaning, if the parent is around, then is the parent mechuyev to tell the kid to go to the grandparent?
Aren't they missing out on a mitzvah of being mechabed kibburav?
Correct. So that's all right. That's the other side of it. Maybe I can't be.
So you could let them out of it, but they still didn't get the mitzvah of kibburav.
Well,
the mitzvah of Tzviakov would be that he has to let them do it.
No, but that's my mitzvah. But they're losing out on a daraisa.
He's being mostly on the mitzvah, but that's not for them. Right. They lost out on it.
I'm taking. Let's say it's something that has to be done right now, right? And they go. I say, go listen to Bubby. Go to Bubby, and I'll do it here. I just took away a mitzvah daraisa from them and gave them a mitzvah derabanan, or rabbanon, or whatever. Right? It's a major sugya here. It's a major sugya, but the Gemara seems to accept it as a fact that a grandchild could just tell the grandparents, "I'm not bringing you a drink." Right? Obviously, there's got to be more to this. More to this.
But yeah, also, wouldn't he be his rebbe if he brought him up? Wouldn't he be his rebbe also? Wouldn't he have a chiyuv kibbut else his rebbe? Like,
it doesn't say. It doesn't say he taught him anything. It just says he brought him up.
So one of the Mayraim brought up his grandchild and didn't teach him Torah. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know. Listen, one thing is for sure: the covered for a grandparent is not with the same strength as the covered for a parent. That's pashut. That is the halacha. And you think but then you would think, like Rahman is saying, well, if the parent has to have kavanah, if the parent has to have kibbut to his parents, how could you say that it's that the grandkid has to have covered to the father? So shouldn't it roll? Yet I'm sorry, I meant to look it up today. The Mefarshim, I'm pretty sure discussed that Indian, but I don't remember.
Okay. Being mechaber the grandparent, isn't that being mechaber the father, the parent?
If the parent likes the grandparent, yeah, you're right. Okay, Zog the Mishnah. Let's just do a little bit more, and then we'll stop, and then we'll finish tomorrow night. But Pumas Shalas Panyanos. Now we continue with the Churban. So, is the Churban the Bayesheni? Pumas Shal Espayonos, right? So that's Gazral Atros Chasanim, that the Chasanim can't wear some sort of crown. The Chasanim will wear a crown. Balairos, and they made a gezer on the Eros, which is some type of musical instrument. We'll see on a base. But Pumas Shal Titus, then when Titus came, Gazru, for all those that want to know the exact history of it, we'll put Shmuley Sugar's phone number, and you could get it from him. Yeah, Gazru al Atros Kalas. Then they made a gezer on the Kalas wearing a like a crown. But Shalom Yomad Adam as B'nai Yavanis, and then the person shouldn't teach his son what do you call Greek. The Pumas Acharon, and then in the last, so those happened before. Those gezeras happened before the base of Mikdash was destroyed. But in the last Pumas, in the last the destruction attack, Gazu Shalatetze Hakalba Pirian B'Soichair. A kala should not go out within a Pirian in the city, meaning the way the kala used to carry the kala from her house to her husband's house or to the chasana in a carriage with fancy carriages and that. So they were mavatal against that too. But then Rabbi Tzenu Etiru Shatetze Hakalba Pirian B'Soichair. Then the Chachamim, then they said, then they were mater it. They took it back and then you could, which the Gemara is going to say is because of tznius. Right? Why? So people shouldn't see her, so they have her hidden in the thing. Right? Okay, I don't know. I guess that means you shouldn't be looking at the kala, which means are walking down the chuppah, what we do nowadays. I'm just saying because I have a chasana tomorrow, and the kid wanted all the sisters-in-law, brothers-in-law to walk down. So they asked me if it's mutter to walk down. So I said, you're not allowed to look in an Ashes Ish, which I tell you. So what's the heter to walk down? So then the guy says, so what's the heter for my mother to walk down? And the Kala, I said 100%. The Chassidim don't do it that way. In Eretz Yisrael, they don't do it that way. In America, we do it that way, right? That everybody stands and turns around and looks. It's Asa. That guy's mother was not happy, right? The father wasn't happy with me. Okay, sure, which I tell you. But you see from this Gemara that if people are going to stare at the Kala, they said, okay, we're going to take back a Gezerah so that people don't look at the Kala. Yeah, what do you say?
I once mentioned to you by Mendel's Chasana. So my two younger daughters, they were young teenagers then. Maybe they weren't even teenagers. So I asked Reb Shimon if they could walk down the aisle. He said, it's bad enough the Machatenisters walk down. Like, why are you asking me this?
Right, exactly.
You know what you said, what you're saying.
Yeah. So that's from this Gemara, from this Mishnah, right? From this Mishnah. Okay. Well, we can't change the world. So now already. Yesterday was music. Today is walking down the chuppah. All the kanayas over here. Fine. So Rameir was able to give good mashalim in order to explain things. So once he died, nobody else could do it like him. Ben Azai, as we know, he never got married even. Or he got married and divorced, whatever it is, he sat and learned. Ben Zayma Ben Zayma was the darshan, another reference to the Haggadah, right? Adsha Dasha Ben Zayma, right? Until Ben Zayma's drasha, right? Because Ben Zayma was the one that was able to darshan things. So after he was nifter, that was out. Mishameis Rabbi Kiva batal covered atayra, right? Covered atayra was batal. Mishameis Rabbi Chanina ben Daisa batal Anshe Maisa. People of Anshe Maisa were batal. Mishameis Rabbi Yosi Katanta, when Rabbi Yosi the Katan was Difner Pasku Chasidim. There were no more Chasidim. Katanta. Why was he considered Katanta? Shahaya Katanta Shah Chasidim. He was the smallest of the Chasidim. And once he was nifted, that was it. It was batal of the ziv. Now, ziv means like the shine of chachma. My favorite Rashi in all of Shas right there. Should be all of our favorite Rashis. Right? Rashi says, ziv ha-chachma, zelo yadayna mahi. I don't know. Rashi just says, I don't know. That Rashi I'm mechaven to every day. I'm mechaven to that Rashi multiple times a day. Right? So just in the wrong spots. That's all. So okay, Rashi doesn't know what it means. I'm not sure. Okay, Meisha Glil Hazakim Batul Covered Atayra, Umesa Tahira Uprecious, and Tahira and precious, meaning staying away from things. Mishameis Rabbi Shmuel ben Papi Batla Ziva Kahuna. When Yishmael ben Papi died, then the Ziv of the Kahuna. And so what does that mean? Rashi says that Ziva Kahuna, Rashi knows what it means. Rashi didn't know what Ziva Chachma was by Rabbi Yochanan Metzakei, but Ziva Kahuna, he says he was a rich guy and a Chacham, and the Kahana used to eat by him. Mishameis Rebbe Batal Anova v'Yiraschet. When Rebbe died, then Anivas and fear of doing Chatayim was Batal. Now, it's debatable whether this is the end of the Mishnah and the start of the Gemara, or this is a continuation of the Mishnah. That's why, hence it's in brackets. Fine. So Torah about Rapinchas ben Yair, I'm Mishachar Beis Hamikdash, Boishu Chaveirim. When the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed,
so if this is a Tana and I'm saying
Rabbi Pinchas ben Yair was a Tana, wasn't he?
Right. So why wouldn't it be the Mishnah?
I don't know. So Mishachar Beis Hamikdash, Boishu Chaveirim u'Bnei Chayrin. The Chaveirim and the Bnei Chayrin, the free people, which Rashi says means the people that had yichus, they became embarrassed. Meaning the high rollers became embarrassed. V'chafu roisham, and their heads got covered, which Rashi says that the people with chutzpah and mamzerim, sheim ashir ve'elu aniyim. So then, so they meaning they got the lower people that shouldn't have been in charge became in charge. When the daldalu anshe maisa, and the anshe maisa also, the daldal means like they got hung, they were hanging, meaning they also got knocked down. The Gavru Bali Israel, Bali Lashon, and people with strong arms, meaning powerful people, and strong mouths. Ve'ein Dairish, Ve'ein Mevakish, Ve'ein Shal. There was nobody looking to into learning at all. Right? Almi lanu lishayin alavinu shveshamayim. So that's a shtickle, also a song of the daf. Right? We don't have who should we lean on except Avinu Shabashamayim. Lemehevi kisafra. So this is mamash the bisman hazeh. When the Beis Hamikdash destroyed, so the Chachimaya, the Chachamim, became like the Safraya, which is the school teachers. I mean, in the big tummy, the Chachamim, they were on the level of the school teachers, right? Of the old school teachers, meaning everything, all the levels of learning went down. The Safraya and the school teachers, Kechazanya, they were like the Chazanim, right? Which is our Chazan we said was like a Gaba. The Chazanya Ka'ama Da'ara. And the Chazanim were like the regular people from the world that didn't really know anything. But Ka'ama Da'ara, on Tamei Beis now, Ozla, Vidildala, they were Stama, they had nothing. Right? Rashi says they went and they were poor. I don't think it means poor physically, with money wise. I think it means poor in the religion, or Manavla. And they became Navalim.
That's what the Rogachover said to Rabaran. That's the famous thing.
The what?
When the Rabaran Kudler, when he was already saying Shir and Slutz, he went to see the Rogachover. He schmoozed for a while. And when Rabaran left, the Rogachover turned to Evu and he said, this fellow learns pretty good for a balabas.
right. I remember that story now. Yeah. Yeah. Fine. And there's nobody asking, nobody looking. Fine. Who do we have? We only have to lean on our fathers. Right? The Mechanchim love this one. They say that before Mashiach, there's so much chutzpah. Right? And I have my own shot in this, but it's late. But I'll just say it very quick anyways. But the reason why I believe there's so much chutzpah nowadays from the kids is because the Rebbeim are not what the Rebbeim used to be. Meaning, I believe that the Rebbeim have to show them, to Talmidim, like, I know I'm not as big as you would think I am. I know it sounds like you're telling a Talmud that, meaning the Rebbeim are praving, the kids smell right through it. And then the Rebbeim are demanding the respect. Like, don't demand the respect like you're some goyin and a tzaddik. You're not. That's what's the fact of the matter. We're not. The rabbis are not. The Rebbeim are not. The Rosh Hashivas are not what they used to be. And if you demand the respect, the kids are going to have the chutzpahs. That's why I believe it came right after this. It's my own word. You can totally disagree with me, but that's we got to call a spade a spade. Okay.
Sorry, we blame the parents.
What?
We blame the parents.
Basically, not parents. I blame the adults. Yes, I blame the adults.
We Rebbeim blame the parents.
Oh, you blame the parents. Okay, I'm blaming the adults. All of the adults in the room. Okay. The Yoiker Yamir, and everything's going to be expensive, right? I hope that means Mashiach's coming, right? Because again, like we said, that inflation, if there's Torah, Hashem keeps inflation down. Right? Now, Geffen Titin Piria Vayayin BeYoiker, and Geffen will give off good fruits, but it's still Yayin is going to be very expensive. Malchus Tahabik Laminus Vein Techachas, and the government is going to teach minus, and there's going to be no musar. Base vad is nus. The base vad, meaning a smed, is going to be abandoned, so people are going to have nus there because that's a quiet place. Vagvulin Yishayim, and the Galil is going to be destroyed, and the Gavlin is going to be also, Yashim is going to be destroyed, not destroyed, empty. And the people that live on the borders are going to travel from town to town because the borders are not going to be protected. And they're not going to be, it's not going to be any chain from it. The Chachma Seifrim Tisrach, and the Chachma of Seifrim, of Seifrim, that here means somebody the Chachma is going to be decayed. Now, I know a lot of the stuff seems to be repetitive, so I don't know. The Yerei Chet Yimasu, and those that fear doing Chatoim are going to be disgusted. Va'emes Tehei Nederes, and the truth is going to be missing. Narim Pnei Zakenim Yalbinu, the Na'arim, the young people, are going to make the old people's face white, meaning they're going to embarrass them. Zakanim Yam Tanim, the Zakanim are going to have to stand up for the Katanim. Ben Menavel Av, a son is going to be Menavel, his father. Bas Kama Be'ima Kala B'chamai. So a daughter is going to go up against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. Ish Anshe Beisai, and people are going to have enemies within their own families. Pnei Hadar. The face of the dog is going to be like the face of a dog. The son's not going to be embarrassed from his father. Not Ella. Ella is in the song, right? We have only thing left. Okay, it's not. What do you call it? The Gershon sent me a word on this last night that he thought of about that all this depressing things about before the Churban. The art school of Maisa brings a Malbim in Tilim that says that we shouldn't look at this like as it's depressing, right? But it should be a nechama, that when all this stuff is happening, that means, okay, Mashiach's coming. That's the way we should look at it. Not so much like how depressing it is. Let's use it and look forward. Okay, we'll stop over here tomorrow night. Bez Hashem. I promise after tomorrow night, we'll be on to Beis Amid Beis on the bottom of Gittin Belina. That's the...
It's Yaakov, that's like Akiva Nicham Tani, no?
What?
The same you say when you say is Akiva Nicham Tani, like what they said at the end of the Makkah.
Right. Yeah.
Because Enochanami, that the shul is walking amongst the destruction, but that's